Hello viewer, my name is Imran Sheikh. I hope you all are doing great. So I'm going to explain the explanation for this problem which I have just opened here. So let's start it. So what we have to do is let's read the problem carefully. Okay, the first thing what we have to do is whenever we solve any problems related to lead code or any data structure, we have to first understand the problem statement. This is the first place where you're gonna be the good at it. So first read the problem thoroughly from start to end. Okay, so what we have to find, what we have to solve is maximum score after splitting a string. Okay, so it is a easy problem. Okay, so given a string s of zeros and ones, return the maximum score after splitting the string into two non-empty string, that is left substring and the right substring. So if you didn't understand this statement, read it one more time. Okay, first try to understand the problem statement within the problem description. Okay, even if you understand 80 to 90%, that is great. Okay, and then you can fully understand with the example and the constraint. Okay, so let me just show you what it is showing. Um, just 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1. So what it's actually asking is we will be given a string like this. Okay, let me just copy paste this original string, the example string only. Let's understand the problem first. That is very important, I feel. Okay, this is the string which contains zeros and one. Okay, and return the maximum score after splitting the string into two non-empty substrings. Like what we have to do, return the maximum score after splitting the string into two non-empty string, that is a left substring and the right substring. Then, okay, here is a word maximum score. So now how will we calculate maximum score? That is a question, right? So they have added that description for it. So as you can see, the score after splitting a string is the number of zeros in the left substring plus the number of ones in the right substring. So now you understood, right, how you're gonna calculate a score. So let's read it again. The score after splitting a string is the number of zeros in the left substring plus the number of ones in the right substring. So far we have understood, okay, we have to split the string into two part, which is gonna be non-empty substring, and we have to calculate the maximum score. So here they have a detailed description about the score. The score after splitting a string is the number of zeros in the left substring plus the number of ones in the right substring. So let's understand here. Uh, we have to split the uh, s- string in a way that we will get a two non-empty substring where we have to split the string. Let's write it down first. Okay. First, what we have to do? First, we have to split a string, split a string into two parts which contain two non-empty substring. Non-empty substring means it should contain sub string value. It could not be like empty string. Non-empty, two non-empty substrings. Okay, we have to split. Okay, and second thing is we need to calculate the score. Okay, we need to calculate the score. Now, how we are gonna calculate the score? That is the question. So that also is been clear now. Let me just write that thing here. We have to we have to or else plus the sum of zeros zeros in the left substring and ones in the right substring. Okay, is this thing clear? We have to split a string into two non-empty substrings, calculate the score. Okay, how we are going to calculate the score of the both the string plus the sum of zeros in the left substring and the ones in the right substring. So let's demonstrate these three things. Okay, now let me come it down. So now we have to split this string into two part. Okay, one and two. So okay, we have to split the string into two non-empty substrings. So how we can split the string? So first thing, we can split in this direction. Okay, we will have 0 like the first and then the remaining. This is one way. One point we have missed is calculate the maximum score. Okay, this is important. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have to calculate the maximum score. If you just go back to the problem statement, here you can see return the maximum score. This is very important, guys. Highlight this maximum score, not only score, maximum score. So how will be the maximum score? If let's see, if we have split the string 0 as first and then remaining like this 1 1 1 0 1. So this is my left substring and this is my gonna right substring. So in the left substring, we have to calculate the zeros. Okay, as you can see, plus the sum of zeros in the left substring and the right substring. Let me just write it down. This is my left and this is my right. So here, as you can see, 1. Luckily, we have 1 0 in the left. We have to only calculate the 0 in the left. Okay. And in the right, we have to calculate only ones. As you can see, zeros in the left substring and ones in the right substring. So we got 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So now the plus. So if you plus this both the number, what we will get? 5. Correct? Okay. So now here we got 5. So don't just directly do like in this way, like taking the first 0 and then taking the rest of the second substring and then doing this all. No, the example, the test case can be anything. Okay, in any format. So here it is. We got in the first iteration only. We got the maximum score 5. Luckily, okay, but it could not be like this. It will not be like this all the time. Okay, so let's see the second test case. Here you guys can be clear more. So we got the second string example set. So the maximum output is 5 only for this. Like I said, in the first iteration only, we will get the maximum score. Okay. So let's understand. Okay, if you got 5 in the first iteration as 5, and now let's do the same thing. This is my first iteration. Let me just write it down. First, in the first iteration, we have picked the 0. So, okay, let's forget this iteration and all. For now, we just try to understand this problem statement. So I hope you guys clear this problem statement, what you have to do. Okay. So, okay. So now once we have understand the problem statement and the examples, so now there is a, I guess, difficulty part is you have to think how you're gonna solve this problem. So to be honest, I also take a day to solve this problem. So today I luckily found a better solution. Okay. So let me share it with you guys. So what is that solution is simple. Okay. So let me take this example only. Let me Okay. So this is our test case, first test case, sample test case. Let me write it down somewhere. So test case is means the input, okay, for your function. Test case one. Okay. So now we have to solve this test case as per our solution. Okay. So you can definitely think on it before watching this video. Okay. So let me show you the solution, the approach. First, I will show you the approach. So the best thing is first we have to write your approach in note or any diagram, and accordingly you can write the code. Okay, there is a step. Always there is a step. First, you have to understand the problem statement carefully. Okay. Second, we have missed the thing. Second, the most important thing is constraints. Okay, don't ever never miss this. Otherwise, your solution might went wrong. Okay. So here you can see the s dot length. String length can be in the range of 2 and 500. Okay, string length would be in the range of 2 and 500. And the string s consists of the character zeros and one only. So here is the strictly they have said the characters in the string will be always 0 and 1 only. Okay, so you don't have to worry about other characters. Okay, so it is clear. So let's add the constraint also, that is very important. Okay, this is the problem that we have split into the point, and this is the example that we have understand. Now let's add a constraint here. So what is a constraint? Okay, I guess yeah. So 2 less than or equal to h dot length of the string normally less than or equals to 500. Okay, the string length will be from 2 to 500. Okay, and then s of I means the characters, okay, of the string will always be 0 and 1 only. Okay, let's have a single quote here. Okay, great. So now we have successfully understand the problem statement and the constraint. Okay. So now we have to, so this is the first step, guys. Always remember, irrespective of solving any problem, you have to first understand the problem statement carefully. Okay. Once we have understand the problem statement, including constraint and all, so these all are comes under the problem statement. Okay. Second thing is you have to write your own approach. Okay. Your solution approach. So let me write it down. This is gonna our solution approach. So this is our problem statement. So this is our problem statement understanding. Okay. Or else points we can say. So we have just taken the points from the problem statement what we have understood. Okay. We have just noted down here. Okay. So it will be easy to recall yourself whenever you come back again for after a long time. Okay. So let's write the solution approach. So we have pick one test case here. So now what we have to do is we have to thing. So this is so of course everyone have a different level of logic building. Okay, so it is always like practice. How long you have done the practice, how long you have been doing this problem solution and all DSN algo. So it is fair enough if you are just starting from now or day one. It is completely fair enough. You will not gonna write the amazing logic. Okay. So what I believe is start doing whatever you thought first, like brute force approach. That's called brute force approach. Once you have written your logic, then later you can optimize it. Okay, as per your understanding. So first thing is never ever um, stop thinking. Okay, on the problems approach. Okay, so once you found your solution, then you can definitely try it out. No matter is it a good or bad, try it out. So as you like, you gonna progress your logic building. So first day your solution would be like worse, second day it would be less worse, third day it would be like normal, fourth day it would be like average, something like so and so forth. So it will eventually increase your graph, okay, of logic building. So that's what I believe from my past experience. Okay, so let's start uh, solving this approach. So yeah, so first thing, uh, we have to iterate this for sure. Okay, we have to iterate from starting to end for sure. So iterating means we have to check each character one by one. Okay, so let me just write a pointer here. So when I iterate this string, I will not iterate from zero. Okay, I'll tell you why. I will iterate from one index. Okay, so my I is here. Okay, and let me just increase this. Oh, I I is at my one index. Okay, so my I is at one index. So now what we have to do is from one index only we have to calculate. So once we have pointed our pointer here. So as you can see, we have a two side. One is left, another one is right. So it is very clear, right? On the left, you have to only calculate the zeros. You have to just find the number of zeros. On the right, you have to only find the number of ones. So as we have, of course, we're gonna take this middle part also, this one also. We're not gonna skip the current one. We will um, take it from left. We'll count the zero from the left, and we will count the one from starting to end. Okay. So in the first iteration, what we will get, if we do so, we will get zero. How many zeros are there? One and ones. So we are counting from current index also. So one, two, three, four. Okay, we are not counting the this zero because we only have to count the one in the right side. So that is four, including the current index. Okay, cool. So once we got it, okay, we have to sum it out. Okay, we have to add it out. Let's add it. Let me just put it. We're gonna add this ones and zero count, add, and we will get 5. So this 5 number we're gonna store in somewhere as per the reference. Okay, like maximum sum. This is something we got as per the problem. It is our maximum score. Okay, so we can name it as max score. Okay, max score. Yeah. So this is the first iteration. So now let's iterate to the next. So as I told you, you cannot return max score in the first iteration. No, you cannot do it. I'll tell you why in the second example. But yeah, as it is a max score for this test case, but yeah, you cannot return it as the first iteration. I'll tell you why in a bit. So here our pointer will be here now. Oh, yeah, fine. So I is at now 2. So let's do the same. We have to calculate the zeros. Now it is a important thing, guys. So now we are not gonna calculate the zero from start. Why? Because we have already taken the sum of zeros from this index, okay, from till in this index. So now what we have to do is we have to only check the previous index value is zero or not. If it is zero, then we have to just take this zero count and add it to the previous zero. Why? Because we know that we have already calculated the number of zeros. We are not gonna do it again. That is bad way. Okay. So from here we have calculated zero count 1. Okay, from when we reach I index at 2, we are not gonna calculate again from 0 in zeroth index. Okay, we are gonna calculate, we are gonna sum the zeroth index count and the previous index so that we can optimize this solution. Okay, I know here it is little bit looking like a small optimization, but yeah, as you have a big string, that time it would really make sense. Okay. So in the I1 index, how many zero count is was there? 1. Now we are at second index. So we have to look the previous index value. Is it 0 or 1? So as you can see, it is 1. So we're gonna ignore it. Okay. So zeros count remain as 1. Okay. And ones count is again we will take it from current 1, 2, 3. So ones count has changed to 3. So again add it, add, and we will get 4. Again, we will compare. Once we got the score, we will compare with the maximum score as we stored. This is our current score and this is our maximum score. We will compare. Okay. So we will check this two, who is big. So of course 5 is bigger than 4. So maximum score will still have 5. Okay. So we're gonna check and we're gonna update only the maximum score when this current score will be bigger than the maximum score. Okay. Of course, we are checking here 5 and 4. When we are gonna update when current score will be bigger than the maximum score. At that time only we will gonna update the our maximum score. Okay. Let me write it down. Checking between. So let's write the name of this current score, current score, and here let me just write it symbolic way. If maximum score is less than the current score, then only it gonna update the maximum score. Okay. So now we have to do the same thing for the rest. Okay. So let's do it for this. I index at 3 and same thing. We have zeros, previous zero count, still 0, and we don't have any other 0. So zero count will be same as previous. Zeros count as 1 and ones count is again changed. So from the current index 1 and 2. So ones count is 2. So again we are gonna check 1 plus 2 is 3. So now current score is 3. Check it out. So let me just check it out. 3 and we still have a maximum score as 5. So 3 is not bigger than 5. So we'll ignore. So now let me do it in the top because otherwise it will mess. So now our index I is at the 4. I index has 4. Left side again 0 is 0 count is only one. Zeros one, and ones count is only one. Okay. Again, we are not. So yeah, we are calculating from current index for the one. As you can see, we don't have a one in the current index. We have zero. Okay. Again, we are not including the current index when we are calculating the number of the zero from the left. We are ignoring. We are calculating till this point. Okay, that's fair enough. We will anyway include this zero when we reach here. Okay, so now we have one's count is only one. So again, add this one plus one, two. Let me just go a little bit fast now. Two, and maximum score is again still have five, which is not bigger. 2 is not bigger than the 5. So we'll ignore this, and our I index will move to the last character I as 5, and do the same job, count the zeros. So last, we are always adding the uh, zeros, previous zero count plus the previous zero. Okay, we are not calculating the sum from start as I told you. Okay. As you can see, if you do so, we have to iterate four elements, right? One, two, three, four, five elements in order to calculate the zeros. Since we have already zeros count at the four index as one, it will be one only, right? If you even do for fifth index, till it will be one only. Till it, sorry, it till three index, it will be one only, right? So that's the reason we are only adding the zeros count from the previous count, that is till 3 index, plus the previous index of the current index, so that we can optimize this sum solution. Okay, so previous count is 1, and the previous sum count was 1 and the previous index as 0 now. So we're gonna sum it out. So previous zeros count 1 and the previous index is 0. So 1 plus 1, 2 is gonna pair plus here, and one's count. So one's count will be remain as 1, not 1. My bad. As you can see previously it is no. Yeah, I forgot to tell you one more thing is we are subtracting here. As you can see, we are subtracting. No, we are not subtracting. We are actually calculating out from the current index for the one. Okay. Yeah. Again, we are not gonna same thing. So from the current index, when once we have found the sum for the ones from the one to end. Okay. So how we are calculating for the one? It is reverse. Okay. As you can see, for the zeros, we are summing from the start to from the previous to previous index value. For the one, we have already calculated the one from one to end. Okay, as we move forward, we only have to subtract the sum of the total plus previous. Okay, for the one, we have to subtract of the total from the previous index. For the one, we have to add from the previous sum plus the previous index value if it is 0. Making sense? I hope. So as you can see, I just forgot to completely say for the one. As you can see in the one index, we got 4. Okay, as we sum from the current index. When we reach to the second index, what we did, we have taken the previous 0 index and check whether the previous index is 0. No. So it is as 1. And for the one, what we did, we have subtracted, okay, from the 4, previous index is 1. Okay, so 4 minus 1 is 3. Making sense? Like it is something like this. Let me just let me just pick this. Oh, 1 second. Let me just pick this number in a separate. It is something like this. Okay. So it is something like this. If you have a total, Okay. This is our total, right, for the 1. Yeah. This is the total count, which is 4, and we have to total from here to here. So what we have to do? Simple, right? From the total, we have to calculate from here to here. So what we have to do? We have to subtract from the total from the previous. That's it. We will get this much count. Okay. So 4 minus 1, that is 3. Making sense? So that's what we are doing in each iteration for the 1. For the 0, we are just adding. Okay. Why? Because we are starting from the 0th index, right? 1 index. That's the reason we have to keep adding for the 0. For the ones, we have to keep iterate. Why? So for the, sorry, my bad. For the 1, we have to keep subtracting. Why? Because we have already calculated out. We are just reducing the, we are just moving towards the end. So that's the reason we have to keep subtract for the ones. For the 0, we have to keep add till the current index. Okay. So that's what we are doing for the optimization. So yeah, so we have reached to the last index. Zeros count is 2 because previous zeros count 1 was 1, and the previous index value also 0. So 1 plus 1, 2, and ones count will be previously it is previous one count is 1, and we have reached to the last position. So we don't have any we don't have any ones in the right. So we will have 1 as only 1. Okay. So add it same way, and we will get 3. So as you can see, till the end of the index, we didn't get the maximum number. Okay, we got then this. We already got the 5 in the first index, luckily. Okay, but we have to iterate till the end. Why? Because I'll tell you in the second sample case. But yeah, so this is the approach that we're gonna apply for the all the test cases. Okay, I hope you clear. Let me revise. Let me take another example and let's do the same approach for these. And yeah, I guess this also will be same. No, in this we will get some maximum in the second iteration, not in the first iteration like the previous. So let me pick this up and let me pick the size. Same. Let's start from one index. Okay. So we have to sum this. So we initially we don't have any zeros and zeros count and ones count, right? So we have to take it out manually. Of course, we are not iterating till the current index for the left. Okay. So zeros is 1 and ones count is we are for the 1 we are taking from current index to end. Okay, ones is 3. Okay, so 1 plus 3 is 4. So let me just go a little bit faster here since we have already seen from the top, right? So here we got 5, sorry, my bad, 4. And let's go to this index I as 1, sorry, 2. So here we got 4. Okay, so now here you can see that thing what I was saying. We don't have to return the maximum score in the first iteration. So here you can see the actual reason. Okay, when we reach the second index, okay, we have to calculate the 0 from there, not calculate. Okay, we have to just add it. For the first time only we have to calculate for the 0 and the 1. In actually for the first time also, we are not actually calculating the sum of the zeros count. We are just looking the first index is a 0 or not. If it is 0, we are just adding the value. That's it. For the 1, we are actually taking the sum. Okay, we are calculating the sum from the 1 index till the end. Okay, and rest we are just adding and subtracting from the previous. That's it. For the zeros, we are adding previous sum. to the previous index value. For the ones, we are subtracting the previous sums count, previous ones count uh, from the previous index count. Let me show you. So here we have a previous zeros count is 1, and previous index value also 1. So we can name it as it is previous sum and it is previous index. Okay, so that we will not confuse. Okay, so we have a previous sum 0 as 0, 1, and previous index also 0. So 1 plus 1, 2. So here you can see we are actually adding between one previous sum and the one number. Okay, so zeros will be 2 and ones will be, as I told you, same. We are not gonna calculate the one count also. So if when we here we got ones count as 3. Okay, so in the second index, what we have to do? We have to subtract. Okay, from the 3, we have to subtract what? This current index. So 3, we are at we are at that second index. We have got 3. We have to look the previous value only. Okay, previous value was 0. So ones count will be remain 3. Okay, we are always looking on the previous value only, guys, for the zeros and for the 1 also. Okay, so as we got the 0 in the previous value, so we got updated the zeros count and ones count will be remain same. Okay, as you can see now here, we will get 5 in the second iteration, in the second index. So now there is actually the comparison will take place. So now you have to compare between this previous sum, max score, and the current score. Who is bigger? Max score. This is max score, and this is our current score. Now current score is bigger than max score. So now max score will be got update. Max score will be 5. Why? Because we are checking. Let me just add any symbol here so that it will make sense. Uh, okay, greater than symbol. Let me reduce it with. So we are comparing between the current score and the maximum score. Okay, if the current score is bigger than maximum score, then maximum score will be get updated with the current score. So now maximum score got 5. So again, we have to go till the end because we don't know what we will get. As you can see in the second index, we will get the maximum score as 5. So we have to iterate till the end. So same thing here. I index is 3. Same thing. We have a zeros previous sum, 0 count, 2. We have to check previous value is 0. No, it is 1. So zeros will be same and ones will be 3. And we got the previous value as 1. So 3 minus 1, 2. So add it and check. Add, check. That's it. Add now 3. And as you can see, 3 is not bigger than the maximum score. So we will ignore it. Same for this also. I is at 4. So check previous sum of 0 we have 2 and check the previous value. Is it 0? No, it is again 1. So zeros will be same as 2. Ones will be again gonna reduce because we got previous value as 1. So this is previous sum of 1. 2 minus 1. Again it is changed to 1. So add and we got the 3. So as you can see, we got finally maximum score of 5. That is correct. When we got 5 at the second index, so we have to split the string zeros and ones like this. For the up, we have to split the string in where like this zeros and then rest. Okay. So this is the solution approach. Okay, so now let's code it, the final part. Okay, so we have divided the problem solving from three part. Okay, one is problem understanding. Okay, with the points and the constraints and the example, what is left and right and what is we have to do. And then we have written the approach. So this is the, so everything is linear, guys. Okay, everything is important. If you miss the first part, then you cannot able to solve, you cannot able to have your solution approach proper, right? So every part is linked with each other. Okay, so first we have to understand the problem statement thoroughly. Secondly, you can add your own approach, solution approach, with your understanding of your problem and with your logic building skill. And then third part is the coding part. Okay, you have to convert your solution approach into the coding. Okay, uh, let me just remove this. I have already written the solution for it, but yeah, we're gonna do it from the fresh, from the our solution approach. So since we have already uh, have our diagram of our solution approach, so we will not get that much issue. Okay, that I believe. Okay, that's the reason I always try to draw my solution approach. Okay, so now let's convert this solution approach into the coding. So yeah, so for the first time, what we have to do, we have to initialize the variable for sure. So we have to initialize how many variables. As you can see, we have to store the, so here only we you will get the answer how many variable that we have to create. We have to store the zeros count, ones count. So let's create one by one. So I'm coding in the JavaScript. Okay, that's fair enough. You can choose any language that you prefer. Let zeros, zero sum. Okay, that's count or sum. Yeah, it is sum, not count. Zero sum. Initially it is zero, and one sum, it is also zero. Okay, and we have to get the maximum score, that will also become zero. So we need only three variable for the current score. I don't think so we can declare the variable outside. We can declare it at the loop level. That's fair enough. Okay, okay, declaration of the variable has done. So now what we have to do, we have to write the loop. So I'm gonna choose the for loop. Okay, for let I 1. Okay, we are starting from the 1 index, like I said. Okay, 1 semicolon, I less than s dot length, we are going till end. Okay, I plus plus. So let's see, let's come back to the diagram again. So as you can see, how my diagram is helpful for my solution. See, I'm switching my tab frequently so that I can code along with my diagram. Okay, so I have my pointer correctly. 1, we have to go to the end, that is correct. Now what we have to do, we have to take look the previous end, we have to calculate the first sum. Okay, for the 0 and the 1, as I told you, in the first iteration only, we are only calculating the sum of the 1 actual sum. Okay, we are not calculating the sum of 0. Why? Because it is just previous index, right? We have to just look at the previous index, whether it is 0 or 1. If it is 0, increase the zeros count, that's it, zero sum. Otherwise, ignore it, as simple as it is. Yes or no? So it is important for the 1 also. If you can even think like, what if it is 1, we have missed the 1, right? So that's fair enough. Like I said, if you have all the 1, as you can see, the third case is all the 1. Okay, since still it is 3. Why? You have to pick the pointer, right, from where you can do the left and right. So here they have picked the pointer in the 1. Okay, in the first index, 0 index. So we got 3 here, this 3, and this will be ignored. Okay. So that's completely fair with our approach. Okay. So you don't have worry about it. So in the left side, we always look for the zeros. On the right side, we always look for the ones. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to just do the simple check. If our I index is 1, okay, and we have to look for the left side, okay, for the 0, because we have to just look on previous index. That's it. As I minus 1 is equal to 0, then increase it. That's it. Zero sum will be plus plus. As simple as it is. So that's done. So now what we have to do for the one? For the one, we have to actually calculate the sum. We have to iterate. Okay. So two things you can do it. One, you can loop through, or second thing is you can do some JavaScript inbuilt functions, slice, filter, and all. Okay. I will go with the core approach. I will loop it through so that it will be helpful for those who don't understand the inbuilt JavaScript function like slice, filter, those functions. Okay, we're gonna loop it through. Okay. So when we have to loop through, when we don't have a any one sum, okay, then only we have to loop through. Otherwise, you will always loop through. That will be nested loop. We don't want to do that. Want to only calculate the one sum only one time, and the rest of the time what we are doing, we are just subtracting from the one sum from the previous. That's it. So if there is no one sum, that means zero value will be falsy. Okay, so false, that is true. We have to bring one more loop here. Let j equals to, we have to start from again from the I only. Okay, I, that means one only, because when one sum will be not there at the first index only, so it is ultimately one only. Okay, so you can directly go with one. That's fair enough. J less than of h dot length, we have to put till end for the one, and j plus plus. Okay, we have set one loop for the only one time to calculate the ones count, one sum. Okay, from here to here. So now we have to need check. That's it. Is s of j equals to 1, then just simply uh, increase the one sum. That's it. As simple as it is. Is it clear? So we will get one sum from this loop. Okay, from this point to till this point. Okay, and we are only calculating the sum for the only one time. Okay, so this will be ignored. Okay, so this will not comes under the complexity. Okay, as it is a constant, only one. So now we got zero sum and one sum. Zero sum from here, one sum from here. So now we have to just take the sum. Okay, I'll let's add it. Okay, current score, so that we can still stick to our. So as we got the ones count and zeros count, what we are doing, we are adding, right? And we are taking as current score, and we are checking with the maximum score. Yes or no? So current score equal zero sum plus one sum. Okay, and here we have to check if my, as you can see, where is that symbol? Yeah, if my current score is bigger than my maximum score, then I have to update it out. That's it. If my current score is bigger than my maximum score, then I simply have to update it out. Maximum score will be equal to current score. As simple as it is. So that's it, guys. This is the end. Okay, we have to just return the max score here, not current score. Okay, max score. That's it. As you can see how it's simple. Okay, with the diagram. So we have successfully translate our approach into the coding. Okay, so as you can see, the diagram is played a vital role in the coding also. We have checked each part of the diagram when we coded. Yes or no? The variables, number of the variables from when we from where do we have to start our iteration till when, and when we have to iterate, when we have to sum. I guess I have forgot to do one main part. Okay, the coding part is still remaining. I just got to remember is that this subtraction part, this one. Okay, this part. When we are at the second index, second index, we have to do it right. We have to check for the previous. That thing we haven't done right. We have just done the first iteration. We have just initialized the zero sum and the one sum for the first index. Okay, we have to check this. This is for the index bigger than the one. Okay, this is for only the starting point. Okay, from for the first index. Okay, one index. Now one, as we have moved to the second index, we have to do this right. For the zeros, we have to add the zero sum plus previous value. For the one, we have to subtract the one sum from the previous value. So that thing we have to do right. So that is we are doing when our I index is bigger than 1, yes or no, 2, 3, 4 until the last. So that's the reason I've added the I is greater than 1, then only you have to do this subtracting addition from the previous sum of 0 and previous sum of 1. Okay, so let's do it. So now it is a very important thing. You have to look it out carefully. So let's see. So we have a zero sum and one sum. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to, let's take this example. Now we are here I2. What we are doing? We are adding the previous sum plus the previous value. Okay. So it is very simple. We have to check the previous value. Okay. S of I minus 1 is equal to 0. Then what we have to do? We have to just add the zero sum plus the 1. That's it, plus 1. Why? Because we have found the previous value as 0. So we have to just plus the previous sum plus 1. That is 2. We are not adding that 1. 1 will be as 3 only, as we can see. Okay. So here it is very straightforward. So 0 sum will be plus plus. Else 1 sum will be plus plus. As simple as it is, right? If if my previous index value is not 0, then what it will be? 1, right? Come to the index. S of I will be always 0 or 1. If it is not 0, my previous value, then it will be 1 only, right? So that means we have to increase our one sum. Not increase, decrease. Again, I am doing wrong. My bad. Sorry for that. Decreasing. Why for decreasing? Let's come to this diagram where I shown you. We have calculated 4. We are at here. What we have to do now? 4 minus previous, so that we can get this much. So that's the reason minus. Okay, minus of 1. So 4 minus 1, that is 3. Understood why we have to decrease 1 for the sum of 1? Because we have already calculated the total sum. We have to calculate the this much. As we move forward, we have to reduce the sum. So that's the reason we have to keep subtract our total. We have to keep subtract our previous count if it is 1 from the total sum of 1. That's it. So now let's see. I hope this is gonna be work. So here we are doing again current score is 0 sum plus 1 sum. If current score is greater than maximum score will be get updated and our loop will be work as like this diagram. So let's check it out. I hope I have written everything whatever we have seen in the diagram. Okay, so now let's hit the run button for first time. Cool, it got successful. Okay, every test cases has passed. Okay. So now let's hit submit. Cross finger. I don't know whether it work or not. Uh, of course it will work. Oh, not. My bad. Okay, let's see where we. I knew that it gonna be break because we have missed something. Uh, uh, where we have done the wrong. So let's see the test case 3-0. So output is 3, expected 2. So what we have done wrong. So like you can see how it is 2 because of course 0 will not be considered. Why? In order to consider the 0, it should be in the left. They have picked this the first index, and in the right side we only calculate the ones, that is 1 and 1 2, and 0 will be ignored. So that's the reason I expected 2 and we got 3. I guess there is something went wrong. Choo, 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 choo. I knew this because of this else. Always be careful whenever you are writing else. Okay, that's gonna be the issue. So let's let's see this with the diagram where we went wrong. Okay, it's completely fair, guys. If you just fail in any test cases, just do the same approach with your diagram so that you can understand. Okay, I got the wrong answer so that I can help you with this. How you can stick with your approach for the failed test cases. So simple, do it. So our I is at one index. So here we have to calculate the zeros and one for the first time. Zeros will be zero. Why? Because on the left side we don't have a zero. Ones will be only one, no, including current. So two. So it will be two. That's correct. I don't know. Yeah, the here I show we have to check the previous value is zero. No. So zeros will be remain the previous zero, which is zeros count, and ones count will be one plus one, which is not bigger than the maximum previous maximum score. And I guess there is something wrong. We don't have to iterate the zeros. Why? Because it is useless. Why? Because we will not calculate the one on the left, and there is no ones in the right. Yes or no? So the maximum score is 2 as per our approach. Our approach is still correct. There is some place I maybe we have missed it out. So let's see in the one index. So let's console log. That is a very big, very easy way to debug our solution. So what we have to do whenever you get any wrong answer for your solution, you have to just use this as test case. It will add it here, and you have to just console log our what zero sum and one sum. Okay. Let's see where we went wrong. So, okay, let me just put this stop. As you can see, 0, 2 for the first iteration. That is correct. We got the same. Yes or no in the diagram also 0 and 2. 0 and 1. Oh, in the last we got 1 and 2. How? In the last iteration we got 1 and 2. That is a problem. We should not get right in the last iteration. In the second iteration also that is correct 0 and 1. And the third iteration, let's see the full iteration so that we can check properly. Here what we will get, here we will get I is 3 and zeros will be remain as 0. Ones will be, oh, I understood, I guess. Where we, oh, ones will be remains 1. This is the problem, guys. Ones will be how it remains. Zero will be zero. Why? Because there is no on the left hand side zero. One will be how it become here. Yeah, one. So here we have to check the previous value is one. Yeah, it is one. So it is again gonna be zero. So that is correct. Yeah, zero zero is correct. Okay. So here in the four last iteration there is something went wrong for our logic. I4. So here zeros count will be one now, luckily. Why? Because on the left hand side we have found zero. So previous sum is zero. So one. So it will become one. Ones count how it's changed to three. Sorry, two I guess, right? We got two. Yeah. How it got two? Okay. Here we got zero. On the previous value it is not zero. Then how it's gone two here? Let's understand. Let's see this carefully. Oh, we got two here. One sum. I guess we are not resetting. That's the reason. No, we don't have to reset. Otherwise, we will lose the calculation, right? So we don't have to. Um, Let me check again. Zero sum and one sum. It is correct. It is 0201. This all correct. 0201. 00 also correct. In the last iteration, it is went wrong. Zero count is one. That is perfectly fine. But the previously the ones count is zero. Then how it changed to zero two? It is completely wrong somewhere. Oh, I got it. Why it's gone wrong? Because as you can see, we got zero right again one sum. So it again iterate. Oh, now you got the point. Yeah. So we have to add a check. So be careful. So this is one bug we have successfully found it. So in the third iteration, let me highlight again. In the third iteration, in the third index, we got once again zero. So here we are checking one sum as zero. If it is zero, true. So in the third index, it again start to calculating the one sum from the one index. So that's the reason we got one sum as two. In the one index, we got two, right? So that's the reason it again got two. So here we have to carefully add a check. We have to only calculate this when I is 1. Okay, for the only first time. The remaining time we don't have to do it, right? Okay. Now it is perfectly fine. Let's see. We have added it out, right? So let's run it again. Cool. See, it's went success 1 and 0. We got 2. Cool. So this is the beauty of the diagram, guys. Diagram is very, very important. As we can see how we debug the problem of the wrong answer and with the diagram. So yeah, that's very important. So like I said, if you return whole code with your proper understanding, you can easily found the bug within a minute. Okay. So if you just write it randomly, like just you think one time, okay, I'll write it down, okay, and the second time you think like this without having any continuous flow, without having a diagram, so it will gonna take a lot of time, guys. Literally, I'm saying. Okay, so be aware, be careful about your code and the diagram. Okay. So now let's hit enter again. Let's submit the code again. Let me remove this. Let's have it, okay, so that we can check the 071 sum for the wrong answer if we get. Okay, I hope it will not get now. So let's see. So let me click on submit again. Ta-da! It's done. Cool. It's okay. Maybe it's not beat the percentage. That's completely fine. But we have successfully completed the challenge. So now let's remove this. I know this is taken the space. The console log will take a time. Okay. So let's remove this console log and submit again. It will improve our runtime and memory. Cool. See, runtime has improved 70. As I told you, because we have console log in the loop, so it will each time consoling log. So it will take a time, right? So that's it, guys. So let me revise what I have explained you. There are three parts for every problem. One is problem statement points, what we have understood, write it down like point wise, and the constraint. Okay, this is the first part. And the second part is interesting part, the solution approach, okay, which is linked with your previous part, which is the problem statement understanding points. Okay, so if you didn't understand your problem statement, then you cannot bring the correct solution approach, right? So every part is very important. So once we have done the proper problem statement points, we have to write the solution approach, and we have written a successfully solution approach, the diagram. Okay, so once we have done with this, we have to move to the coding part. So as you can see, I have almost used my diagram for every line of my code. Okay, for even for the debugging. So that much the diagram is very important for the problem solving. Okay, so I hope you like it. Okay, so that's all for this problem, and yeah, that's it. See you in the next challenge. Bye bye. Take care of yourself.